Good morning. So is Watchtower's governing body liable to Gehenna, and why am I suggesting that they might be? I'd like to look at Matthew 5:21 and 22. Now Jesus here gives a list of sins, 3 of them, and after each one the punishment gets worse. And he starts off saying that whoever murders someone is obviously sinful. But he goes one step further. I say that everyone who is angry with his brother is liable to the judgment court. The second sin is he who says to his brother, "You brainless one," is liable to the judgment in the Supreme Court. Now, if you call your brother a brainless one, that's translated from the word raka. And it's difficult to translate because it's more a tone of voice. It's a contemptuous word. It's that you feel somebody is so contemptuous, so beneath you, that you call them a raka. Now, if you do that, you'll be liable to the judgment in the Supreme Court. Now, one step worse, Jesus said, he who says to his brother, "You fool," is liable to be cast into Gehenna. Now, I'm sure that at any time we will have said to, or even thought in our hearts, that somebody is a fool, that they've done a foolish thing. And we might even in a kindly, friendly way say to our friend, that was a really silly thing to do, a foolish thing to do. Is that what Jesus is talking about here? No. This word fool here is translated from the Greek word moros, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it properly, but it means a moral fool. So, William Barclay has this to say about it. To call a man moros, or a fool, was not to criticize his mental ability, it was to cast aspersions on his moral character. It was to take his name and reputation from him, to brand him as loose-living and an immoral person. And apparently that gets you the worst punishment. Now, Watchtower's governing body has set up a judicial system in which they have led elders into sin. And I'd like to look at 2 Kings 23, verse 15, where it says that Jeroboam led Israel into sin. And we know the outcome of that it was really bad. So any leader of any group has to be really careful not to lead people into sin. Now, some of Watchtower's training videos for elders are atrocious. They lead elders into assuming that people have committed sins that they haven't done, that maybe they've committed more sins than they're confessing to, and the elders guess that they've done that. Now, if they do that, if they falsely accuse someone of moral sins, then they have called that person a moros or a fool, and they are liable to Gehenna. So William Barclay says this about this. Jesus insists that the gravest thing of all is to destroy a man's reputation and to take his good name away. No punishment is too severe for the malicious talebearer, or the gossip over the teacups, or, I might add, the elders in the little back room. These things murder people's reputations. Such conduct is deserving of Gehenna. Now, they're only liable to Gehenna. They can repent of this badness and thus gain Jehovah's forgiveness. And they would have to gain our forgiveness as well. Now, I wrote a letter to Watchtower, and I'm not going to read it because it's fairly lengthy, but I'm going to put it up here so that you can see it. You can stop the video and watch it if you want, but it's outlining Watchtower's bad judicial system. I hope that if anybody wants a copy, I'll put my email below and I'll email you a copy. Calling somebody a moros, a fool, a moral fool, when we don't have evidence for it, is one of the most serious sins we can commit. It's dangerous. All sin is bad, but there are some sins that are so dangerous that we need to speak out against it. So I'm sorry if it's not very encouraging for my usual visitors, but thank you so much for watching. And Watchtower, please, will you change what you're doing? Stop ruining people's reputations. Stop slandering people with your bad judicial system. But thank you.